So we are Plastech Ventures, and we're just going to give you a quick overview and introduction to our project. I'm David,
I'm Kirsten.
and then this is our team. Right now we have Will, Erica, and me. We're the engineers for the team currently, and then Kirsten runs the material side and then also helps with the engineering. And then Brian is our faculty mentor who helps guide us through this project. So kind of zooming out, right now, the problem that we're facing is 2,150 tons around of plastic waste is produced in the Philippines each year. And then only about 9% of that is recycled. And then what that means isn't necessarily like somebody uses it and then it goes into a product again. Usually what that means is it's post-industry, which means it's not really being reused. It goes to the end of the assembly line and it just kind of cycles back to the front. So the amount of plastic that's actually being recycled is pretty minuscule. Most of it ends up in the environment or disposed into landfills. So our mission is to facilitate the use of this untapped resource. Right now, there's a lot of plastic out there, and we think that if we could transform it into valuable products, we could start upcycling the plastic and then not only lock up plastic, but introduce it to market value. So what we're going to do is we're going to supply the technology and methodology to repurpose the plastic waste into high value products that lock up large amounts of plastic waste. And then this will be done through through a couple of locally owned businesses operating through a network connecting them to the plastic suppliers and the consumers of the plastic products. So currently, what we're doing right now is we're investigating the waste management value chain of the plastic. Next year, we're planning to roll out one of the modified material recovery facilities, or MRFs, as a business. And then in the future, we're planning to expand to have either multiple MRFs and then also to be able to increase the functionality of the current facilities, which could include transforming the plastic a little more, like pelletizing it, or production of multiple plastic goods from post-consumer plastic.
So like to zoom back in a little bit, our current semester goals would be to design that facility that we would be rolling out next summer. Looking towards adding the functionality part of those future goals, we would be testing the properties of sachet plastic, which is the type of plastic that we're mainly focusing on. We would also be looking to design and test washers and dryers of plastic, again, for the rollout next summer. And continuing to investigate and understand the supply and demand, both for post-consumer recycled plastic products, as well as in general, post-consumer plastic. So the project that we're working on is mainly focused on the impact that we can have and how to learn through that impact. So the project is student run and it has faculty oversight. What that means is that we set our own goals, we set the direction that the project goes in, and we decide all of the important decisions, not our staff or faculty mentors. So that gives us more leadership, but it also is a different sort of setting than typical. And that also transitions into the goal being impact and not a grade. So because we set our own goals and we set all of that things, we don't have assignments necessarily. And so we don't get A's or B's or any sort of grade on our work. We are focused on creating an impact out of that, and that's what we gain. The project works in an open innovation framework with no IP protections. What that means is no matter what we create, we won't be patenting or copywriting any of it. This holds for all of the creative inquiry projects that we have here. And so, yeah, so we won't be patenting or making money off of our information. Sorry, give me a second. Out of the information we gain through this project. So the benefits from this project is we are going to be making an environmental impact. We're going to be engaging in the community, both in our local Pennsylvania, but mostly in Manila. You will be gaining leadership skills. It's a student-run project, so you have to make the decisions and you have to incite that sort of spark of creativity in the others around you. It's also a networking opportunity. We're going to be talking to a lot of plastics suppliers and industry leaders in the Philippines, and you will be making connections that way. And it also, of course, it helps with the resume/CV. I'm not entirely sure what you guys say in Philippine. So the commitment to the project looks a little bit like this. We would be having weekly meetings. For us, that would be probably around an hour and a half. At these weekly meetings, we would be discussing what was accomplished in the past week, what we're accomplishing in the week to come, as well as making decisions that the team needs to make. So that might be brainstorming and deciding what our initial facility looks like, or brainstorming and picking where that initial facility is going to be. All of these decisions are team decisions. And so in that hour and a half, we would be making those decisions. In between these meetings, we would have at least approximately somewhere around the scope of 3 hours of weekly research and analysis. So this would be the time expected for you to complete the goals that we had set at the meeting prior. And yeah, and so to work through that and understand what's going on. And then next summer, we will be going to Manila, and there's a potential for assistance in the field in Manila, which is where you guys are, but we would need help around there. And then also you would be able to meet the industry leaders and kind of help work with us to set up the facility in that area. So we are Plastech, and we're open for questions.